Right, so I've checked everything, tightened everything up. So that's it, like triple checked. So I'm happy that everything that's been off is tight, and that's all good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the oil and refill that with the type that I normally put in these. And I think what I'm going to do as well is try and drain the coolant out and without basically getting air into the system. So wish me luck with that. I think what I'm going to do is basically just take one of the pipes off at the bottom and make sure that the reservoir at the top doesn't run out of fluid, and hopefully that will do the trick. I'm changing the coolant because I noticed this one runs slightly hotter than the black one, not overheating or anything like that. I mean, you can leave it sitting running and fan comes on, doesn't overheat, nothing like that. But it's worth just changing it anyway, so I don't know when it was last done. So yeah, we'll do the oil, do the coolant, do the filter, and then I think what we'll do is just run it up again, have a look underneath, just again check the fuel system and make sure that all seems okay. And then I think we can drop it down and have a look at the electric windows and see if we can see what's going on there. I noticed that there's 3 switches sitting in the car, so looks like somebody's gone down the route of trying to fix the problem with switches. But I might actually just shoot out to the black one and test the switches that are there and see if they work or not, because it's a very quick and easy way of making sure that all the switches work. So yeah, let's just have a look around again at what we've done on this car, and then I'll get on to the oil and filter. Hopefully this one won't take 2 hours because I've got an assortment of tools now for getting the oil filter off these. Yeah, so that's obviously the oil filter down there, and as you can see, there's not really a lot of access from underneath it. You've got power steering pipes running underneath there. You've got a coolant hose going off the bottom of the radiator. There's an engine mounting right next to it. And if you look from underneath, you can see that there really isn't a lot of room. So if it's being really stubborn to get off, then you definitely need some tools to do that. And I bought a few because I didn't want to ever waste that much time again on something so simple. This one's really good because it just tightens around the filter as you undo it, basically. Haven't used this one yet. I don't think that'll be much use for this because, again, there really isn't a lot of room. And then there's this strap as well, so I've got a wee assortment of them to hopefully make sure that I never waste that much time again. So wheels back on. We just did pads on that one, if you remember, and pads on the rear here as well. This is a new brake pipe that we put on there, and then new rear axle bush up in there. We had the shocks off, so they're all back on properly, and did pads on this side as well, and obviously the rear axle bush up there, and also nice shiny looking fuel system. So basically the filter they sent me was actually wrong, so I ended up having to put that one back on, so I will get another one of them. So the filter there, that's a new fuel pump that we put in, and the new wow, my mind's just gone blank. The new hose going from the pump to the accumulator there, and then there's the other new hose going from the accumulator round to the filter. So that's all looking good, and yeah, we ran it up and it didn't leak, so that's always a good sign. It's a bit of a riot in here, as you can see. Definitely tidy it up once I've done the service before I start the electrical stuff. And yeah, so we did the pads on here obviously as well. And we did that CV boot there as well, which you can just see as well. So nice new CV boot on there. So there we go. It's been a bit of work, but glad to have it at this point. And hopefully we can get a pass, but I'll crack on and get this service done and the coolant change, and then we can have a look at the windows. I think I'll run it up while it's still in the air, makes sense, and just check for, obviously you'd normally check for oil leaks when you've just changed the filter as well, and so we can do that, let it run, and just check the fuel system one more time, drop it down, and then get fired onto those electric windows. And then hopefully I can take it in for an MOT, hopefully it'll pass, and then we can get cracked on with the bodywork, and then that'll be this one done. All right, here we go. I've done the oil and filter change, changed the air filter, and changed the coolant. What I did was just, pulled the pipe off the radiator a little bit and made sure that there was, kept on topping up the fluid reservoir, so that hopefully, you know, there isn't air in the system. It's not something I've done before, so I guess we'll soon find out. Took quite a lot of fluid to run through what was there, but I guess obviously you've got all the pipes and the radiator and everything holding fluid, so anyway, I run that through until it was all new fluid. So now I guess what we need to do is start it up. I've left the coolant filler cap off just in case air can escape from there. I'm sure I've seen that happening on TV before, but I'm not sure whether that was in conjunction with a bleeder valve or not, but we'll soon find out. So yeah, so start it up, have a look at the fuel level, make sure nothing's leaking, have a look at the coolant and check the oil as well, make sure nothing's leaking, and then I think I'll need to call that a night, otherwise I'll not be very popular because I'm going away tomorrow. So but yeah, I'll do that, then drop the car back down. It'll be the first time it's sat on its own wheels for quite a few weeks, if not longer. And then when I come back, all I need to do is book it in for an MOT and try and solve the electric window problem and that side repeater there that isn't working, which is hopefully just a bulb. I'll make sure I've got one or order one now. I managed to make quite a big mess in the garage as well, so I'm gonna hate myself when I come back, but I think I'm gonna leave that to deal with when I come back. So anyway, we'll start it up and have a look and see if everything's okay. Fingers crossed. Okay, I just stuck 5 litres of fuel in it, so oops, hopefully that's enough. Oh, it will be enough. Hopefully there's enough juice in the battery to start it, because has been sitting in here for a wee while. No, mobilizer again. Not sure whether it only works a certain way around or whether you just have to hold it in long enough, but either way it's quite a long time. Let's find that time. It's a good start. Okay, might set this down a bit just so we can get some throttle. Not leaking any fuel. Just tried putting the cap back on the coolant. I'm not sure if it makes any difference, but okay, let's have a look. No fuel anywhere, so that's good. Yep, all nice and dry. No oil leaking, so that's good. Coolant levels dropped a wee bit. I think it's probably doing this because there's air in the system, but I'm not 100% sure. I can't really think any other reason why, because it was firing up fine, and all I've done in terms of that kind of thing is put fuel in it and started it, so obviously changing the oil is not going to make any difference, so yeah, I think I'll probably need to have a look online and see how to properly bleed the coolant, because I think that's probably what's causing the issue. So not as good as it would have been if it all just fired up and ran, but on the upside, the fuel system's still not leaking and shouldn't be too big a problem to resolve. I did spill quite a lot of coolant in the engine compartment. I wonder if that's maybe gotten into somewhere it's not supposed to. Anyway, I'll have a fish around online, and if I'm up early enough, I guess maybe I'll have a quick look, but I still need to pack, so yeah. But anyway, we'll get it running before the end of this episode, and then the next one should be onto paint, unless it needs something else for the MOT. Alright, enough for tonight. had a quick look on Google and saw something about putting coolant straight into the block from the top pipe of the radiator. So I tried to take that off and broke the radiator. So I guess I'm going to learn how to do another job on a Mark II 16 valve Golf, and I'll need to do that before I get it in for the MOT. So not ideal, but I'll get one ordered up, and I can have a really good read around online to make sure I know exactly what to do, and hopefully it should fire up and keep running after I do that and refill the system. So not what I was hoping for, but that's just the way it goes. So if you got frustrated about everything that went wrong when you're working on a car, then you'd be very frustrated. So yeah, I'll get one ordered up, and definitely feels like time for a holiday. So I'll order the bits and worry about it when I come back. Okay, so back again. Been away for a few weeks, and the radiator and yeah, just the radiator is here. So what I'm going to do is install that just now, and then fill up with coolant again, and hopefully this time it'll start. I'm not 100% convinced that it was not starting because of like an airlock or something. Not sure if that should matter too much. I did look in the manual, and it looks as though putting in the fluid should be pretty much just a case of putting the fluid in. So I'm not sure that I did anything wrong, but maybe I did. We'll soon find out. So I'm going to fit this new radiator, fill up with coolant, and then we can try and start it again and see what's happening. Maybe I got some of the electrics wet when I was putting the coolant in. I'll definitely use a funnel this time. Maybe it's not getting fuel, although it's strange because it was before, but I could yeah, I mean, I can find the fuel line up in the engine bay that comes from the back and try pulling it off and seeing if the fuel's coming through. But let's get this radiator done and then we'll take it from there. But it'd be really awesome to get it running this weekend. I really need to get it in on Monday, or at least phone first thing on Monday, and get it in for an MOT. more difficult putting the new radiator in, but now that I've done it once, I think it should be easier next time I have to do it. It's just quite hard because there's the plastic bits on each side, the bits that I think are to direct the airflow, and it's just like quite hard to line it up with them because they're kind of in the way. And the first time I had it in, it wasn't quite far over enough. There's also more than one hole you can put it in, so I had to kind of take it out and move it over a bit more. The actual bolts at the top, they're dead simple. They go in no problem. And the actual radiator, the kind of tapped holes for the bolts to go in are not really very good, to be honest. It was quite difficult putting the bolts into it on the outside, and so trying to put the bolts that hold the fan shroud on was extremely difficult. They didn't really line up very well, so I'm sure they're a good fit for the fan shroud that's made by the same people, but it's not a very good fit for the original one, so I probably wouldn't use that one again. But anyway, it's on now, so that's awesome. So I'm gonna go and have a quick break and then fill up with water, and we can try and see if it will start this time. Fingers crossed. I bet you thought I forgot about the electric windows. You're right, I almost did. I'll show you what I've been up to. So this side first, that was just the switch. All the wires were stuck behind the center console, so I had to take that out, which was pretty easy. It was just one screw. So that's now working, so that's great. And I tried pinching a switch out of the black one, and that wasn't the problem, so I took the door card off, and that's the feed from the switch. Stuck a multimeter on that, and it was showing 12 volts, so I then had the joyous experience of trying to figure out how to get the window regulator out, which wasn't that easy, but I got there eventually. I find it kind of difficult because you can't really see exactly where everything's connected, so I wasn't sure like if I'd undone enough bolts or not, and I don't want to force it because I don't want to break the window, but it's pretty straightforward when you actually see it. There's just like a metal frame on the bottom of the window, and then the regulator joins onto it there, and then that just obviously slides up and down according to this cable, and the cable obviously goes through the motor, so it's pretty straightforward. Just wasn't the easiest thing to do, to be honest. Some of the bolts that attach onto the window were extremely difficult to get to. One of them is like there, I think, and the other one is like in there somewhere. Oh no, that's the two that hold the regulator. So there's another two bolts like up inside there, and it was extremely difficult to get to them. And also it's like really greasy because obviously it needs to be, and that didn't make life too simple, but it's out now, and that's another job I've never done before, and so something else that I have an idea how to do now. So yeah, I was thinking about robbing the regulator out of the black one. Potentially I've got it working tonight, which means that as long as the brakes bleed okay, I can book it in tomorrow morning, phone up tomorrow morning and book it in for an MOT. I'm going to go and take the regulator out of the black one. As you can see, it's a sunny day, which is always nice and a rarity in Scotland. But what's even nicer is I just got the Blue Golf MOT'd and it passed. So that's awesome. I took it in again before this, and it failed because one of the brake calipers was binding. So I just basically got a new one and fitted that yesterday, and it's just passed the MOT. So that is a big relief after doing all those things that I've never done before, and just it seeming like a bit of a long time to get it all done.